What's up, YouTube? So this van has come so far in about a week. Oh God, when did I get here? It's like, let's see, it's Friday. I think I have been in the Bay Area working on this van for about a week, maybe a week and a day, something like that. You lose track of the days after a while because you're just getting up, knocking out projects, knocking out errands, knocking out projects. And so, yeah, one of the big things I was waiting on in the mail, though, was this box, which has been knocking around the van a couple of days. I've had to put it between my bed, and then I couldn't walk between the bed and the bathroom. But I had to put it between the bed when I was driving, because if I left it sitting over here because it was so heavy, then it was just in the way. So, what is this box? Well, I'll tell you, it's a slider for the fridge. Now, when I originally did my little micro tour of the van, I talked about the fact that the fridge was not on a slider. It wasn't too bad when it was empty, but as you start to put items in there, it's really heavy to pull out, and then I'm like having to put my whole body weight on it to push it back, and I haven't even really filled it with groceries because I knew that was the situation, and also I was planning on resolving it. Now, when Ken originally got the fridge, he did want a slider, but the cost of the slider on top of the fridge, at least the Dometic version, is like $300, which is like ridiculous for a slider that you could probably build with enough time by buying the parts. Now, I do think, given some time, I would have been able to build sort of my own little sliding table. You just need to get like the tracks and build a little sliding table area, and it's honestly not that hard of a thing to build. Like, I think with enough time, I could have built it, but I didn't have that kind of time. In fact, with any luck, and I'll talk about this in a separate video, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm leaving the Bay Area for a little bit. Don't know when I'm going to be back. So what I did was I did some research. I was like, well, are there alternative sliders that would still work for this fridge that isn't a $300 Dometic slider? Now, I get why the fridge is so expensive, but really, Dometic, the little slider it goes on is like $300. What the heck? So I did some research and I found this one. This one's by Tough Stuff Overland, and they have a bunch of stuff, including their own fridges, I believe. I'd have to go back to the website to look. But it was cheaper than the Dometic one. Still kind of expensive for what it is. Like I said, it's basically just a sliding unit. Like, it's super expensive for what it is, but I think, things are priced not only based on what they actually cost or even what they're actually worth, but how much they're worth in the marketplace, and everybody loves those sliding fridges. Now, if I could have avoided getting this, I would have, but honestly, it's just a pain to try to put groceries away, and this will make life so much easier. And I didn't see myself being able to be on the road, long-term living, without a way to easily slide that fridge in and out. That's not a workout every time you do it. Now, I don't mind my workouts, as we all know, but this was a bit much, especially just to grab a bottle of water sometimes. Like, it just shouldn't be that hard. So I decided, since Ken already invested in the fridge when he did his original van build, the least I could do is just get me a slider to make things a little bit easier on me. And so today we're going to install that slider, and then we have a couple of little tiny finished projects that'll just wrap things up for me and make me feel like I'm ready to get on the road. There's some bolts. There's some straps to strap in the fridge. This is bent, which doesn't make me happy. But I don't have time to send it back, and it ultimately shouldn't interfere with the operation of the fridge. So, yeah, there is a paper with warranty information, but I literally don't have time for a return, especially considering this took a few days to get here, and I just don't have that kind of time. So since it doesn't really interfere with operation, we're just going to roll with it slightly flawed. So it's in. It's not a perfect situation. The slider, unlike something that was like perfectly built for this or perfectly built for my build, like a lot of things when you just buy over the shelf, it's a little bit big on the rear and the front. There's like a significant gap between the fridge and the space available in the slider. But my goal was ease of use. I got to the point where I was just kind of cramming stuff in the front of the fridge because it was just kind of annoying to pull out, especially for something as simple as like a bottle of water. Now, if I want to get a bottle of water, I pull it out, I flip it up, I reach in there as far and as deep as I want to, close it back up, and slide it back into place. And that was really all I wanted out of this thing. So, there are problems. It's not perfect. I haven't seen the Dometic slider or used the Dometic slider, so I don't know how comparable it would have been to this. But for the functionality and the speed at which I needed to be able to get out of here, this will work. Alright, so I got all kinds of things on my countertop, but there's just to wrap up today, which will hopefully be everything on my list. I'm actually knocking stuff off my list way quicker than I thought. I do have some wire. I have some red wire and some black wire I got from an automotive place, which has done me well with all of my previous electrics projects. The water pump, the light I put over the kitchen, that light right there. Just a bunch of small projects I used this light, this cable for, which was really great. Just picked up a pack of it at an automotive place. This 12-volt extension is going to be going out the back door, and I was mostly thinking, oh, this will be great for the shower, so that I can just use the shower right there by the back door. But there actually is another purpose for this. When I inflate my my exercise ball, I always have to bring it around to the front of the car in order to inflate it, because it's the only place I can plug my 12-volt air compressor. And if I run this from the fuse box, I can also use it for the air compressor on a fairly semi-daily basis to inflate my exercise ball. Never thought about that. But anyway, this is a 12-volt extension that I'm going to run out the back door. Now, at some point, I would like to run a dedicated 12-volt for the fridge. I have a double sort of 12-volt plug that Ken ran up there, but I'd love to be able to use that as just an accessory plug and then run a dedicated line just for the fridge. But it's absolutely not a priority right now. The fridge has a plug. It's running. I'm not even going to get into all that right now. I'm just going to run this out the back door so that I have a place to hook up my shower and a place to hook up my 12-volt air compressor. The other thing is I need to switch out those LED lights. They're basically not going to work. I'm returning the ones I can return and these ones will just have to be an unfortunate wash. This basically has two USB plugs on the end, and then it has bare wire on the other side, which I will be adding to the fuse box. And then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the lights down to this little thing. And then for lights, I actually got these, and the reason why I got these is because these have a remote. They came off of Amazon. I did some looking around, couldn't find anything with a remote. I was trying to use the smart lights because I thought I would just be able to control them from my phone, and that sounded really, really cool. But it really wants a dedicated Wi-Fi connection, that's the type of connection that you get in your house. I forget what the numbers are because I don't understand all the numbers, but it basically, my phone was not on its own, was not good enough. I could use my phone to control it, but that phone needed to be linked to a stronger Wi-Fi signal. And so I was like, well, screw this then. These lights aren't going to do what I want them to do, because the only way to control them now is to hit a button that's in a really, really awkward place. So I said, forget it. I'm going to switch them out for something with a remote that sort of matches what I had in the minivan. And that way I can just, put the remote right by the door, and then I can always use the remote to control the lights. And that'll just be easier because, I was not going to deal with all that. I was like, okay, then I guess these smart lights aren't going to work. I'm going to have to get dumb lights that use a remote. And so those are the last two, projects in my head where I'm like, I want to get these done before I hit the road. Basically use my stove. I am stooped over right now. I basically use my stove as a heat gun for the heat shrink. I finally invested in some proper heat shrink, and oh my goodness, I've been just using electrical tape instead of getting heat shrink if I don't have the connectors with the heat shrink already on it. And it just looks so much nicer with the heat shrink. I'm really happy with it. So I have a couple of more cables here, and then I should be able to clean up. Except there is a problem with the lights, and I just don't care anymore. At this point, I've given up. And it's a problem I can fix later, so I'm just gonna not worry about it right now and complete my project. Oh my gosh, this heat shrink looks so good. Cable cleaning to do at a future date, but keep in mind, when I first got this van, Ken had exactly two things in here. One of them was the 12 volts running to the front of the van for the fridge, and the other one was, I believe, this light, which is the one by the bed. I added the light that's over the kitchen, my fan. Honestly, not sure what this is. I'm gonna have to, oh, that's the light. Oh gosh, what is this? So I'm gonna have to go through here and clean this up. But this fuse box went from using 2 slots to using 8. So there's been quite a lot of growth there in electrical. Oh, I know the other thing that's on there, the water pump. The water pump needs electricity, so that's what's running from there. So I've done a lot of quick and dirty work, and I definitely want to come back and clean this up, because right now I got a spider's web going on and I kind of know what things are, but I was pretty much just trying to get stuff hooked up and working as fast as I could, and unfortunately that doesn't result in the prettiest electrical. Okay, so like I said, I ran into a problem with these strip lights. They look kind of ugly the way they're placed up right now, but that's not the problem. So I have a set basically going around this way. And this is just my follow-up to sort of wrap up this video. And then it continues around that light that doesn't work unless the car is running. Goes around past the kitchen area, above my little dresser area right here, and then terminates before it gets to here. And I just decided this doesn't matter. I had the old lights here that I installed where the set didn't work, the smart lights. Here's my remote. So when I pointed at these lights, boom, 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 nothing. But you might have noticed it got brighter behind me, because while this half of the light doesn't work, this half does. I'm going to hit off. Oh, I need to actually face the right way. So for this set of lights, this half of the lights, now the thing is, I tested the entire light set, both of them. And so I don't know what I did during install that screwed up these lights, but now I need another strip to put on this side. And this just helps the van get a little bit brighter. They look a bit overblown on camera, but when I'm not doing this close-up of it as a trim, it looks pretty bright in here when I have the strip lights going around, as well as this little side light right here, which is on, and then the light that's over my kitchen, which is off right now. So that's sort of what's going on with these. I'm going to have to replace the other half. But I've decided not to delay my trip any longer. Yes, that's right, guys. Excuse the look on the face. I'm going on a trip. I'll explain more in a separate video. But there's a bit of travel I've been intending to do since the day I got back to Berkeley. I just wanted to get back to Berkeley and get my affairs in order. Now, what happened was I found out about the rear differential. Not yet an issue, but could be an issue with the minivan, so I held off while I was just trying to get that repaired, because I wanted the minivan in as perfect condition as I could get it. And while I was waiting to sort that out, because my mechanic got busy, I found out about this van. So then I was making arrangements to get this van, because I was like, well, if I can get this van, it would be dumb not to. And so now I got this van. Now the thing about a new van is it's new mechanics. It's an engine you don't know yet. It's a machine you don't know yet. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going across the country for reasons. And I'll outline those in a different video when I'm not half awake. I went to meet my friend Kiera, so I didn't have time to like sort of wrap up this video on the install of these lights. The fridge drawer system is doing great. It's so much easier to get in and out of my fridge, to grab one simple little thing without this huge drag out and this huge pushback, especially when I was just grabbing like a bottle of water, because I bought a ton of water when I was driving down, because I didn't have my water bottle. The sink didn't work, so it's not even like I could like try to use water from the sink system. So it's like I needed bottles of water just to have water or something to drink on the way home. So I bought a whole ton of water, and it was just such a pain to like pull it out to put one thing of water in there. I have damn near nothing in that fridge. Because I nearly cleared out my old fridge before I left, and then I hadn't bought anything for this fridge because I knew I wanted to install this tray. Like, he already bought an awesome fridge. It's not gonna cost me but a couple $100 to get a tray. I'll go ahead and get the slider tray. So I got the slider tray, and I was waiting for that to come, and I was like, I don't want it to be 1 billion pounds, and I have plenty of like dry good rations that I need to go through. I mean, honestly, in the summertime, it's just easier. They don't go as bad. And so like I have some brown rice packets. I know somebody's gonna be like, that's processed, evil, dirty food. You shouldn't be eating it. Eat fresh and raw all the time. Hearing the ranting in the background, All right, I live in a van, and having like at least borderline good dry goods, like those brown rice packets and stuff. And oh my God, there's these things I love. Let me see if I can find it. These tuna packets. So much easier than trying to like just to have some quick sort of protein thing that you can throw in. Like I said, I'm pescatarian. I mostly eat vegetarian, but I'll still eat seafood. Man, these things are like, they're so easy. You can even just take a fork and just eat these straight out of the packet. You can mix them with other things. It's a way to add protein to other things. I mean, like these, they're just, I love these. So having sort of dry food things. I also have like some Uncle Ben's brown rice in a packet. I'm not digging for all that stuff right now. You'll see my pantry in a different video. I'm really gonna wrap this up. Tired, preparing to actually leave Berkeley, and I'll be talking about all the whys in a separate video. Bye, guys.